Welcome. This is Lizzie Brooks Yoga and Fitness. Thank you so much for being here today. Today's class is 30-minute advanced flow. Come on and join me on your mat. Okay, so come on, sit nice and tall. I would have a block or a towel handy to pad your knees during this practice. Lengthen up through the spine. Just place your hands on your knees where they're comfortable. Inhale fully. Take a Welcome. So sit up nice and tall on a blanket or a towel and have that handy to pad your knees later in the practice. Hands to the legs wherever they're comfortable. Inhale fully. Take a big sigh. Bring your hands together at your heart center and set your intention for today's practice. Whatever it is, whatever you need, maybe it's movement, maybe it's just connection, breath. Let it be simple. And we'll take an inhale with that intention, filling us up. Sigh out what we don't need. And shake it off. All right, so bring the hands to the legs and start to circle around. Rotating around, we're just warming up the joints, the shoulders and the hips. Let's reverse that rotation, getting into that spine. You can take the heart much more forward and then round back as you go back, if that feels good. Come to center, put your fingertips down. Round the spine, press the floor away, drape the head. And then roll into the reverse. Lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades back. Keep pressing down into the floor. And then come up to neutral. Bring the legs forward, give them a little shake, and then cross them in the other direction. Plug the fingertips in, round the spine, part the scapula. And then keep pressing and roll forward and up. Getting those paraspinal muscles awake and neutralize that, shake it out. We'll come into our first downward facing dog. You can move your padding out of the way. Place your hands really actively down, so the first finger and thumb ball joint and a little bit of a fingerprint down. Tuck the toes and come into that downward facing dog. Soften out through the neck, pedal out, and just, again, we're warming up the body, initiating some stretch into the spine and the hamstrings. I would just bend one knee and then the other. And then we're going to create a little more heat, okay? So we want to bring that blood flow and that heart pump a little more. So let's bring the feet together. Turn the toes over to the left, lift the heels. Now bend the knees and press your left hand down and reach your torso over to the right side of your right leg. Now come in through center, heels lift, and we're going to take that to the other side. Toes point to the right, heels left, knees bend, press back. Root your right palm way down. Come all the way up, and we're just going to go back and forth. So what you're doing is a twist, and the knees go side to side, and the torso presses back any amount. This is going to elongate through the spine, the side ribs, and also wake up. You can probably feel the heat of your legs, very, very active. Opening up the shoulders as well. One more on the other side, and then downward facing dog. Deep breath comes in. Exhale, lower to all fours. Pad the knees if you need to. Inhale, roll the shoulder blades onto the back. Lift the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine. Once again, opening in between the shoulder blades. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take our first vinyasa from here. If you want to do other variations, it's totally fine. Find your plank pose. Rock your heels forward. Chaturanga or all the way to the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to change the movement of the legs this time. The toes will go in opposite directions. So you're going to take yourself into more of a plie with about 5 inches between your heels, maybe less, okay? And go ahead and bend a little bit. This is going to feel really weird on the outer sides of the feet. You can always take the feet closer, the hands closer to the feet and do this. Bending the knees, and then turn the toes in, bend the knees just a little bit, let this come from the hips, press the heart back. Really getting internal rotation, we just did external. Now come back into your plank pose, second vinyasa option. Chaturanga, this time maybe go to the floor if you didn't first. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up. Hug it up and in for hanging plank. Lift your ankle high up and in, round in, get that core active. Take the right leg up and then put it back down. Let's let the left leg lead up. Hanging plank, lift the ankle, round in. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left leg down. Walk your hands back to the back of your mat, meeting at the feet. Inhale, rise halfway up. You might bend the knees on that. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, belly on the thighs, so it's a little bit of a variation. Arms can be forward for the most amount of work, to the sides or back. Breathing here. If most of the weight is in the ball joints of the feet, make sure the heels are actually getting some work and the hips are going to shift back so you're feeling those glutes. 3, 2, 1. From here, optional lift of the heels. Really getting into those quads now. And then maybe lift your torso off of your thighs about an inch. Draw your organs towards your spine. Lower your heels, sweep up, chair pose, classic chair pose. Now, you can reach the arms up or forward if that's better on your shoulders. Press down into the floor, reach, lengthen the spine, a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, Samastitihi. We'll tightrope walk all the way to the top of the mat, just giving our brain and our bodies a little bit of a different connection, moving in a different way. Top of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale for your fold. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale into plank pose. We're going to come into a side plank. You can choose which side you want to come to first. Top arm might be up. And then for even more work, you can always stagger the feet if this is too much. You're going to lower and lift through the pelvis, okay? This can be done as you move the arm, or the arm can stay stable, or the hand can stay at that top waistline. This is huge for the obliques and the shoulder. And for balance, last one, and come on back to your plank pose. Transition directly to downward dog. Don't take a vinyasa yet. Take an inhale, sigh that out. Good, look to the top of your mat and find your feet there. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing. You can reach to the sides or forward. My wall's in my way, so I'm reaching forward. Bring your hands to your heart. Shake off any clutter. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Ardha Uttanasana, rise halfway up. Uttanasana, fold. Take it back into your plank pose. Good. And then from here, side plank on the opposite side. So again, you might stagger your feet. Top leg can go forward or back, or not. Maybe you're coming into your lifts and lowers. Maybe you're arcing over with that top arm. So occasionally the hips will bob forward and back. Try to keep them nice and stacked. One more. That was more like 2. And come into your plank pose to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Sigh that out. Walk your hands back. Come into that belly on the thighs chair pose. Let's take the feet hips distance apart here. This time the arms are going to come back. Plug the fingertips into the wall behind you and start to press up and down. Really active, so you're feeling the firing up of your triceps as you're opening your chest and working your legs. Do put weight in your heels. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way slowly up to stand. Turn your palms forward and then exhale, open your heart. Reach the elbows back. Little baby cobra in the upper back. Inhale, reach, and exhale, hands to the heart. Take the heels to the back of your mat. Lead with your non-dominant leg rather. So you normally probably started with one foot. Start your tightrope walk with the other foot as the leader. It's just changing up our habits a little bit to build new neural pathways. We'll come to the top of the mat, deep breath in. Clutter dissolves. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Fingertips down to the floor, bend the knees a bit, and step the right leg back into pyramid pose. So the heel is rotating in slightly. Rotate now your torso more along lines with your left leg. Draw the left hip crease a little more back so you're really feeling that stretch in the IT band. Now from here, we're gonna come into a little bit of a ball because we're gonna bend the back knee in. We're gonna keep the left leg straight. So you might need to watch this. You're gonna bend into your front knee, walk your fingertips further forward, and then instead of taking the top leg up, you're gonna bend your right knee in line with your left leg. And I'm sorry if on that last side plank, I was telling you right and left when on the first one I let you choose. Now spread your top right set of toes and start to press up. And conversely, you could come into warrior three where the back foot is going towards the back wall rather than any amount up. Breathing here. If you want to really challenge yourself, take one hand to your ankle. If you really want to challenge yourself, lift your torso a little bit more forward and see if both hands can come to the lower ankle. Activate the back leg. Fingertips come down, bend into your front knee, go back into pyramid pose. Keeping your right fingertips down, left hand to the left waist. Inhale, get long. Exhale, twist left. Top arm might rise up. Shoulders roll back. Breathing here. I really do believe that revolved triangle is such an advanced posture. Woo, it's a doozy. Inhale, exhale, take it on down. Create your low lunge from there, create a plank from there, and then you know the drill, vinyasa or no vinyasa. You're not in a hurry through these, and all of these can be skipped. Find yourself in your downward facing dog. All right. So from here, we're going to take taps off to the side of our mat. I'm actually gonna move my blanket out of the way. Taps from downward dog, try that on. And then we're gonna turn it maybe into a plank and do our taps side to side. We're crossing underneath and to the other side. Now you can tap very close to the back of your mat, or for a lot more work, tapping really close near the hands. 3, 2, yeah, it's a 2 count. 1, and downward facing dog. Deep breath in, sigh that out. Look to the top of your mat. Let your non-dominant leg lead you in stepping up to the top. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Choose how you want to rise. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, samastitihi. Samastitihi means steady and even. So that's not just in the body, but in the breathing and in the mind. So let's bring that forth. Inhale, reach up. Exhale for your fold. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees a little bit, step the left foot back, find your pyramid pose. You're gonna rotate that left heel a little bit in and then rotate again the torso a little bit more along the front lines of that right leg. Let the hamstrings open up. This is prep for when we do our revolved triangle later. Now bending into that front knee, walking your fingertips forward, and then curling into a ball. That back knee comes in line with the lower leg's knee, but you're really drawing the heel into the sitting bone of the left leg. And from here, remember, you can go to a warrior 3 variation or take yourself up into a standing split, spreading those top toes so you don't get a cramp in the calf muscles. Now, maybe holding on to your ankle with one hand. If you're going to use both, you might lift the torso a little more forward before you do that. That can help with balance, engaging and actively reaching through the back leg. Fingertips down, bend the front knee a bit, land back into your pyramid pose. Make sure there's space between the feet. Left fingertips down, right hand to the waist, grow out of the pelvis on the inhalation. Exhale, twisting towards that front leg, maybe lifting the top arm. Shoulders rolling back, especially that lower shoulder has a tendency to really internally rotate. See if you can find it more externally rotating without you losing the sense of your core. Sometimes when we're in an upper back bend, we lose our belly. Inhale, Exhale, taking that top hand down, create your low lunge, create your plank. Maybe this is a great place for child's pose or downward dog. If you want to skip this vinyasa, please do. And back into that downward facing dog for a deep breath in and a big sigh out. Walking the fingertips back to the feet and then rising all the way up, however that feels good to you, and bringing your hands to your heart. Shake that on out and go ahead and go wide with your feet. And now bend one knee and take your fingertips down alongside. You're going to kind of lengthen on that inner thigh of the other leg while you're working the quads of the bent knee leg. And switch sides. Back and forth. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. Breathing here. Now we're going to go to the first side, and then we're going to reach forward and up as we slide the lower leg in. I know, okay? Don't worry. We're going to try this a few times. Now from here, step out again, bending into that same leg where you're over there, okay? Fingertips down. Switching to bend to the other knee, and reach forward and up as you slide the other leg up and in. Good. All right, and then you're gonna reach that leg to the side as you bend that knee again. Come on down, okay? So that's the flow. Slide over, bend the knee. Reach forward and up as you slide in. Step to the side as the knee bends, fingertips down. Switch, reach forward and up as you slide the leg in. Reach the leg to the side, bend the knee, come on down. Good. And then we'll just go to the center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. This time the hands can walk in, or you can grab yogi toe lock or ankles. If you have a headstand practice, and you would like to come into that here, feel free to do that. I don't often teach these because I'm not in the room with you, but if it's part of your practice and you're an advanced practitioner and it's something you do a lot, then feel free to do it, okay? But not if you're trying it for the first time, please, or even the 100th time if it's not something that's part of your practice. Come on down if you took that posture, and we'll take a twist. So put one hand down, one hand to your waist. Inhale, grow long in the spine. Exhale, twist, and then maybe reach up with that top arm, roll the shoulders back. Breathe here. There are ways you can play with this. So I'm twisting, and I'm going to now bend the knee of the leg I'm twisting towards. Ooh, see what happens in the adductors and the groin of the other leg. You can play with that if you want to. Inhale, exhale, unwind, straighten the legs. We'll go into the twist on the other side. As you're ready, grow out of the pelvis. Taking your twist, only lift the top arm if it feels good. Shoulders roll back. Breathing here. Now again, you might stay right here or bend into that knee, opening up. Whew, I really am feeling that one today. I have a feeling if you're doing this, you might be feeling it too. Inhalation. Exhale back to center. Turn the heels in for goddess squat, rising up. For more work, reach the arms up. For a little less work, hands to the heart or to the thighs. And then we're going to do heel taps. So it's heel lifts and lowers, and they're alternating. Working, yes, you feel it. I don't even have to tell you it's working because you know it's working. Breathing here with that asymmetrical tap, side to side. Now go ahead and put both heels down, and if you want to lift both heels at the same time, scoot the feet a little closer in, and now lift. Maybe lower the pelvis a little bit, and then maybe do a lift and lower of that pelvis. If the arms are getting a little tired, you're a little out of breath, then bring your hands to your heart to do this. I know I'm doing that. 3, 2, 1. Are you shaking? I am. Lower the heels, sweep the arms up as you straighten the legs. Turn the heels back, exhale, fold. And then go ahead and choose one side of the mat to go to. You're just going to take a momentary lunge, create a plank. From this plank pose, we're going to cross our hands underneath us. So pick one hand across and tap the other side of the mat. Put the hand down. Other hand crosses underneath, tap and down. Tap somewhere else, but still underneath and to the side. Same thing with the other side. Tap back We're just working our core and having to stabilize differently with these taps. And then go to downward facing dog. This might be a wonderful place for not Shavasana, not yet, well maybe, child's pose, or vinyasa, or maybe a held posture of another kind. Maybe down dog is best. Maybe some cat-cow. Deep breath comes in, big sigh out. All right, we're gonna turn our heels in. Remember we did that bit of a plie earlier. We're gonna do that here, but the heels are much wider apart, and we're coming into our Malasana. If you need to put something under your heels, feel free to do that. Breathing here. Maybe use your elbows to open up the knees, lengthen up through the spine. Let those paraspinal muscles really feel them along the spine. You have an option here to come into your crow or crane pose, and you can even do this on the forearms if you would rather. I'm not going to show you. I do have a tutorial for that in the tutorial section if you're newer to arm balances. Hands come down, hips draw up. Remember, you really want to work the setup, crossing the upper part of the arms to the shins and the knee, kind of where they meet, and then there's a shift of weight forward before that allows the toes to lift, and maybe take the heels closer to the sitting bones like you did in hanging plank, and draw the core musculature towards the spine, and come on back down into your Malasana. And then from here, if you have hip issues, you're not going to add a hop. If you do have any issues, but you can still hop in a higher stance, you can hop like this or hop like this. If you can hop on the ground, you're going to hop on the ground. This kind of work is stuff you will feel the next day or two. If you have knee issues, this is not for you, please. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Come into downward dog. That should be called frog pose, not what actual frog pose is. Right leg reaches. Step through right side lunge. Walk the left foot over to the left more, circle the back heel down or not, warrior one or high lunge. Breathing here. You can stay here or twist towards the front knee. Breathing, arms can be open or back hand can be on the waist. Know what the feet are doing, okay? So don't be just living in the brain way up here. Know what the feet are doing. Come back to center. Exhale, find the floor. If the back heel is down, spin it up. Hands come down, vinyasa, or skip it. It's still advanced asana, even if you skip all the vinyasas. Deep breath in and sigh out. Left leg gets its turn up. Its turn up, step through into a low lunge. Walk the right foot over to the right more and circle it down or not. Rise up, high lunge or warrior one. If you got a turn up as a prize, that wouldn't be a very good prize. And then from here, optional twist towards that front leg. Maybe the back hand is on the waist. So this room has no fan and it has a little vent, but it really doesn't work. The air doesn't come in. And I'm feeling this. This is an advanced practice. Doesn't have to be long. And then come all the way back up. If the back heel is down, take it off the floor. Hands come down. Step back into plank, vinyasa or not. I'm going directly to downward dog because I'm breathing a bit hard. Settling through whatever postures you're choosing, threading breath through your movement. Or through your held posture like downward dog. Lower the knees. Sit back on the heels. Take the heels forward as you sit back. Shake the legs out. Bend the knees. Find yourself in half boat or full boat. You can hold on to the legs or not. And then we're going to extend it and bring it closer. Ooh, I'm trembling. Extend it and bring it closer. I think I'm going for more of a bent knee for today. I'm already tuckered out. I've already made some other videos today. 3, 2, last one. Okay, now reach for your big toes or your ankles or your feet. You can use a strap on this too, and then extend maybe a little bit with the bent knees or all the way. Shoulders roll back. Again, paraspinal muscles. We have trained them to light up and support us. If you want to go wide here with the feet, you can, or if you want to keep them together, you absolutely can. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs together, bend the knees, bring the hands to the knees, lift the heart, open the sternum, and exhale, round the spine. One more time through. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, round. Come all the way up, bring the legs forward, lean back, and shake it out. Okay, last arm balance we will do is, and you can skip this, and you can do a Janu Shirshasana, or you can even take the knee up and reach for the foot, even using a strap. If you would like, you're going to hunker down, take one leg, like you're putting on a backpack, and put that leg over the shoulder. You're not keeping the chest high, you're actually rounding in order to make this happen. Hug that leg in, use that inner thigh that we strengthened earlier, draw it in, and then hands come down pretty close to the sitting bone and just underneath the other shoulder. And then from here, there's a weight change forward and then up. You can point the toes if you'd like and hug into that center line. Breathing. A lot of core work, quads, all of it. And then lower back down, unwind, and shake it out. Remember, Janu Shirshasana on the other side, or that knee can come up, and take it up for any Marichyasana variations you want. I have so much stuff in my eyes. You're gonna use your leg as that, your other leg as the strap of that backpack. One hand down, hug into the midline, other hand down. Little bit of a lean forward before the lift. Point the toes. That always seems to make it a little easier for me. Point toes on this one is okay if you're not really overdoing it. If you get a cramp, spread them out. And lower down, unwind, lean back, and shake it out. Fingertips can point towards you for internal rotation of the shoulder, sides or back for external. Okay, so sides is kind of in between. Lift your heart up, stay here, or come into your tabletop position. Really reach the heart up to get that head of the shoulder stretch, pec stretch, and then walk one foot a little closer into the midline and bring one knee up. Maybe extend that leg. Bend it, put it back down. Walk that one more towards the midline, lift the hips a little bit more. Bend that knee. You don't have to straighten, but you can maybe attempt. Bend the knee, back down, feet hips distance apart. Inhale, lift, and exhale. You are going to see if we can straighten the legs, keep the back of the heels down, and take the hips through the arms, hugging the core musculature back. Inhale up, and exhale back. That might not work. You can do crunches instead, or grab a couple blocks or books and make your swing a little bit more accessible by taking the hips through. Inhale up and exhale through. One more time. Inhale up and exhale through. Lower the hips down, remove whatever props that you had, and guess what? You get to come on to your back. You might have that prop handy for under the knees for Shavasana. Roll on down. Hug your knees in and rock side to side. So I purposely made this very challenging and also not very long. Right knee in, extend your left leg, open the front of that hip. Switch sides. Switch sides and lift the chest and the head. Lower the chest and the head, switch sides, and lift the chest and the head. Try not to reach your shoulders to your ears. Lower the chest and the head, drop both knees in, extend the legs, point and flex through the ankles, and then bring your hands alongside of your body and try not to press into the hands to pop the pelvis up. Just try to use the core very deeply to do a mini itty bitty lift of the legs and the feet up and down, up and down. So we're working much lower than we're used to working. Usually the upper core is like, let me do that for you. 3, 2, 1, and hug it in, open up the knees, and take either a variation of happy baby pose by keeping the hands just to the knees and the shins kind of soft, calves soft, or you can do it more like your Malasana where you're squatting on the ceiling. Actually, this is more like a goddess squat because the shins are parallel. Malasana would be more like that. The more you know. 3, 2, and 1. And let's go ahead and lengthen the legs in front of us and take your very favorite twist. I always like to give people a chance at the end of these practices to just choose the twist that they like the best. Twist is so preparatory for Shavasana. Come on through and do the other side. That I really want you guys to make the choice of which twist you're doing. It's rare that I choose a different one than this when I'm nearing my Shavasana. And we'll unwind. And again, I said that you might want to keep that blanket or towel handy for your Shavasana underneath the knees. So I do recommend that you stay for the Shavasana because you worked your tush off. Got to make sure it's still there. Is it still there? Because I worked so hard. It's still there. Deep breath in. Let it go. And just relax layer by layer. There is so much that you did. Glorious movement for the heart rate, for the sweat, right? So for the detoxification element of that, even the pressing on the organs to help detoxification, and the moving of the lymphatic system as well. Studies show that people who move and also move in new ways, like we threw in during this practice, and I tend to throw in, have stronger brains as well that stay, quote, younger longer. So my hat is off to you. You've done body work and brain work and breath work. The work is done. Let's rest together. Let the mind have a chance to slow down. It doesn't mean that the thoughts will stop coming in. It just means we'll look at them and say, oh, hello, there's a thought, and then let it go. If you'd like to come back to the word from the beginning of class, feel free to bring that word to you and marinate with that. And you can stay here as long as you like. You can pause the video, stop it all together. And let me just thank you for showing up, for trying new movements, for getting into your body in new ways. Sometimes it takes a whole lot of willpower just to get the practice started. And I know that. I understand that. Thank you so much again. Namaste, you guys.